I am Venky, a working professional in IT as well as an amateur masters athlete and a coach for endurance sports. You are listening to the Working Athlete podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, I have a small request from you. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also let me know what you like and what you would like to listen to more of by commenting in the comment section on YouTube. I promise to do my best to improve with each episode and bring you the best content that helps you and me get better each day. This episode is brought to you by The Bike Affair. If you are in search of a one stop destination that caters to all your cycling needs, our today's sponsor, The Bike Affair, is the perfect place to check out. I have known the founders of The Bike Affair, Krish and Gokul, personally for nearly 15 years now. In fact, my first century ride was with Krish back in 2008. They are both exceptional human beings and entrepreneurs that believe in providing exceptional service to their customers. And it shows. With over 14 years of experience, the Bike Affair has established itself as a trusted source offering honest advice and exceptional service. They are offering a special treat for the listeners of this podcast. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your first order by using the code BikeyVenky on their website. So if you are in Hyderabad, visit their store in Kondapur, or if you are anywhere else in India, shop online by using the link thebikeaffair.com. I will leave the link in the show notes. Now, enjoy the podcast.
DP, welcome to the Working Athlete podcast.
Again, thank you, Venky.
So this time I thought we will talk about something that is very common and something that all of us go through, which is coming back to training after a break, right?
Okay.
So the break can be shorter, like a week or 10 days. It can be slightly longer, a month, couple of months, and even longer, which is like long term, maybe 5-6 months or in a year of break, and looking to come back. The reasons can be varied, and we will go into those. And what are the things that we need to keep in mind as coaches and as athletes, right? So these are the things that I want to cover in this episode. And this is like a fireside chat because both of us have gone through different breaks at different points of time, and we have worked with various athletes who have gone through those breaks of different durations and for different reasons, right? So that's what I want to go into with you in this episode. So to kind of set the context, right, what I see as a break can be anything from say a week to 10 days. The reasons could be, which is the most frequent, right? The reasons could be as simple as a family vacation, right? You are you have to go to a family vacation. Of course, you can't ignore. And more often than not, your spouse won't entertain you to go with your bike, right? We get away with that. Sometimes we manage to kind of take the bike along and get a few rides in, but if that is not the case, you end up having a break of a week or 10 days, or simply fall sick, right? A common cold typically lasts for a week or so, fever, the same thing, and or you're just busy with work.
Yeah. So I would put it like this. If I have to properly categorize them, there will be three categories what can induce break in a training session: emotional, physical, and uh,
Circumstantial.
circumstantial. Let's say so. Emotional is like, hey, I'm not feeling like riding now. I want to take a break from rides.
Right.
I'm just not up to the mind. I'm not feeling motivated enough. Could be any reason. Physical is you get injured. You it can, the injury can be a week, a days that you just got some scratches, bruises, something. It can be a week, a month, of up to years for severe fractures, surgeries, whatever. And then there could, well, the most rarest circumstances are financials, where financially you're not able to support the sport, and hence you have to take a break from the sport. Okay,
Which is rare, but yeah,
which is rare,
be
but
possible,
can
yeah.
happen, especially for high cost sport like, let's say, cycling, where we know some people have to get back to job because they can't afford the sport. And then they wait for some sponsor. Some sponsor comes in, doesn't come in.
We're talking about youngsters who are like, they are trying to get into profession, like state level, or make their mark at state level or national level, and they're not able to support themselves in the sport because there is nothing to, financially it's tough. Yeah.
Correct. Or they have got a job which demands them 9-hour work, and they're not able to put in the amount of rest, recovery,
which is actually
time.
the most common thing, right?
Correct.
So let us go.
And then there's the social part, where, for example, like you mentioned, you're going on a family holiday, and the society around you does not allow you to do the sport. Let's say you had an accident. You recover from it within a week's time, but your family does not want you to get back into sport.
Yeah.
So there are basically concerned people,
Yeah.
right? These are the four major causes that I feel like that puts a break in a athlete's active cycling or any kind of active lifestyle.
Right. So let us try and see how we can deal with a few of those which maybe are in the control of the athlete and the coach, right? So in terms of, let us take from the shortest duration of break, right, which is the most common, right? So a break of a week to 10 days. Typically I would think the fitness is not lost. You can almost jump right back in to the training. Maybe a ride, one or two rides of easy, and then get back to the intervals. But especially if it is a scenario of like vacation, right? But if it are being busy at work. But if it is sickness, then maybe you got to be a little bit more careful. Say a few rides easy and start the intensity a little conservatively, get into a little bit of tempos after 3-4 rides, and then ramp up the intensity from there.
Yeah, that we are thinking about from the perspective that the athlete is capable of directly getting back into the sport. Right? Let's look at it. How about we look at it from the perspective of all the four categories that I mentioned? And what are the stopping points for the athlete to even get back into the sport?
Right.
Okay. Then the stage one is getting back into the sport. To like, when I say that, from the day they have stopped their last cycling workout or their last run, and to getting back to their first run after that.
Right.
The step two would be how they pick up the activity after that. So how does their training ramp up after that? Third is to prepare for these different categories of things that can impact, and be mentally prepared for the future eventualities when such kind of things can happen to you.
Right. So what do you suggest? Like, how do say are you saying like mentally what? How do you prepare? Physically, how do you prepare and all that?
So,
yeah.
See, from the 4 categories,
Hmm.
okay, one is your physical. You get injured. The first thing that I feel from that injury to get back on the run, on the bike, on your sport, swimming, running, cycling, or whatever sport that is, first would be, in my opinion, from the mistakes that I have done in the past, is to first, and the very first opinion, have a consultation with a, a ortho or a physio, depending on the kind of injury you're going through. Or if it is psychological, talk to a sports psychologist. Okay. These people will help you with what you are missing out, what's exactly wrong, and how that can be treated.
Hmm.
Like, I know I have been to a physio and I had a shoulder issue. He did a lot of workouts for me. Nothing helped improve it. And then he asked me to go and meet an ortho. So I had spent about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, almost a month with the physio. And then he asked me to check with an ortho. Ortho asked me to get a MRI and X-ray. From that, they said, just do a this thing, ultrasound, and you should be fine. Okay, come back to me after a week. I went, did an ultrasound, 2 sessions. I was 100% back to normal.
Hmm.
Okay. So getting
the right help
getting
at
the
the right time
at the right time, right?
is very important. Yeah.
Very important. So whenever any of my athletes get injured, the first thing I ask them is, I can only guess what has happened to you, but I want you to go and check with the ortho or physio based on the kind of injury they say. Like recently, a friend had a crash on the cycling trip. The first thing that's required is for the person to go to the hospital and get it checked with an ortho to see if something is
straightforward. Yeah.
right? But if someone is just lifting a weight in a gym and they feel some muscle has twitched, then I would ask that person to go to probably a physio to get it checked up as to what muscle has got pulled. Okay. A person is going through a mental crisis of, hey, I'm not liking cycling anymore. I'm
not feeling like working out.
Not feeling like working out. I'm not improving. I don't know what's wrong with me. And the person spends a lot of time discussing that with me. Great thing the person did themselves is they contacted a sports physio, a sports psychiatrist, and they helped give the person a lot of inputs.
Right.
Okay, which the person has tried working on. Okay, I don't know what's the current status of that. Okay, I'm not so closely involved. Okay, then we know there are reasons where financial work, okay, college pressures, because your exams are coming across, or your work pressure has increased, you're not able to do the amount of workouts. So then the topic comes out, discussion point at that point is, what can you do to that is achievable? So is it just 30 minutes of workout on a daily basis? Is it 3 days a week workout for a daily basis? Do you need to realign your goals for that? Okay, it's even before the person actually does something, because the person, if the person is given a 1 hour workout and the person doesn't have time for that, and the person always keeps doing 30 minutes, 25 minutes, not getting enough sleep, okay, and try to still do the 5 days a week workout, and because the coach is assigning the workouts, but that person is not able to meet the power targets or the timing pace targets for the runners or whatever, they feel demotivated by it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So that is adding to the negativity of whatever's impacting that person from performing.
There's always already pressure at work or whatever, and the pressure of not being able to do the workouts kind of adds on top of it.
Yes.
It's the icing on the cake that eventually gets to you, or that straw that breaks the camel's back,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So in that case, obviously we have to sit with them, have a conversation where you help them reevaluate the goals, reevaluate. I mean, see what are the priorities in the current. See, priorities can keep varying. Like, that can be work priorities can keep varying, family priorities can keep varying, and then the workout kind of comes as a third wheel for in that scenario, right?
Correct.
You have to get those priorities right, and then with those constraints in place, what can you do?
Yes.
How can you plan those which you can still achieve? The achievability is what makes things like tick, right? If you are not, if you are given a workout that is impossible to achieve, it doesn't add anything to you, right? So you kind of have to have that discussion, reprioritize, and realign those goals, and maybe shorter, like you said, that just 30-minute workouts, or not 5 days a week, maybe during the week, just 2 days a week of 30 minutes, and then weekends might be slightly longer. That kind of still can work wonders. That's exactly the thing that I have done to get back after a break. Like when I was like getting back into indoor training, it can be daunting, right?
Yeah.
The 10 minutes on an indoor trainer can feel like a couple of hours.
I don't know how you still do it. I can manage even 10 minutes on an indoor train.
So I started with like 30-minute workouts, and then slowly now I am able to like do 1 hour 15 minutes. And we both know friends who do like thousands and thousands of kilometers indoor.
Man, some
Our
people have clocked like 20,000 kilometers plus, 20, 30,000, God knows how many.
Yeah, I mean, proper indoor rats.
Yeah, proper indoor ride on it. They post it like very proud. Okay, that's an dude. That's an achievement.
That's a skill, like that's a superpower, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
so after that you have this the financial part of it.
Mhm.
Okay. Why the financial part? Because the financial part is so I have this athlete who keeps telling me that I can improve my speed by buying probably let's say a carbon bike. Okay. But then also the person is saying that it's a challenge for me financially to afford a carbon bike. So the person is asking me, should I go for a carbon bike or should I go for this carbon wheels? Okay, then it becomes kind of telling the person, hey, for your or that's just one of those people who are still able to continue their training, but it's impacting their mental part.
Mm.
They are not getting motivated enough.
That is always playing on the mind, right?
Yeah.
So I am putting in the work, but the equipment that I have, that I can afford now, is holding me back. That is actually a valid constraint when you are, in the competition, right? When you are, say, appearing at state level or national level, and everyone is turning up with zip wheels, disc brakes, and TT bikes and whatnot, and you appear on an better aluminum bike with aero bars and whatever wheels you could borrow, and you always feel that that 1 minute or 20 seconds that I lost by is because of this. We saw a case of that, similar to that. Joel started out like that, right?
Correct.
You see, and he he was off the podium by say 40 seconds or something like that with that kind of bike. So when it I'm not saying that the equipment doesn't matter. It matters a lot.
For a runner, the shoe
at that-
matters.
Yeah. At that level, everything matters.
See, not only the equipment. For example, what kind of coach you can afford
Hmm.
matters.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can't afford a coach, you may not be getting the right kind of suggestions, right kind of guidance for that.
Right.
And people are there who say, "Hey, I can't pay you an X amount. I can pay you a Y amount.
Hmm.
Can you take me?"
Hmm.
Then it comes down to, for me personally speaking, is the person genuinely looking for? Is that person genuinely financially challenged and has the capacity to perform, and hence should I be helping that person? Or is the person just one of those people who are like cribby about money? Well, that's a different point altogether. But coming down to the points of something causing a break, we know that some of the many athletes that you have worked with, specifically like Gagan and others, who are sponsored athletes. There are people who are paying for their cycle, for their coaching, for probably their travel to the events, a lot of things. If that is not provided, they wouldn't be able to afford to do all that. Right?
Right.
So that support matters.
That is immensely helpful. Having that support is, can make or break a career, right? Definitely. Coming, although I mean, financial situation is something that we can't really have an objective say in as a coach or an athlete or a friend per se. But let us tackle the other aspects,
Sure.
the mental and physical aspects, and how you can kind of, social aspects, and how you can work around them. Say, like we have already covered, a shorter break, which is the most common thing, which is pretty straightforward to deal with. And say, but if it ends up being a longer break, say a month or a couple of months, the fitness definitely takes a hit. You are like almost back to the basement, right? You have to build it back up. So how do you deal with a scenario like that?
Yeah. So it's a lot contextual,
context dependent, definitely.
Context dependent. Like, for example, if you're not, let's say you are traveling a lot because of work for a week of travel, can you do, when you're traveling, when you're staying in a hotel, can you attend the gym? When I'm working with my triathletes, they can't take their cycles with them.
Right.
But they are missing out on the cycling workout, which is very independent of how the running works. So my suggestion to them, let's keep working on the cardiovascular abilities. Let's work on the strengthening abilities. You are staying in a good hotel. Basic hotels have gyms in them. Go and attend those gyms. Do some weightlifting. Do some, or if nothing else, carry your bands with you. Okay, they weigh nothing. Okay, you will be able to do all your core workouts with them. Okay, that helps you stay fit. Let's say you have a shoulder injury, but can you do some core workouts with the shoulder injury? You may be able to. Can you do squats with a shoulder injury? You may be able to. Those are the ways with which you can manage your fitness until you are able to get back to your primary sport or the sport you are missing out on.
Right. And for a triathlete, he can probably carry a pair of shoes even wherever he is traveling and get a run in, or find a swimming pool in the hotel that he can use, right? Even if he's not able to carry a cycle. But if he's just a cyclist, then he can still
Only one sport, yeah, then it becomes a challenge.
Then it becomes a challenge, but still you can
Do
try
more workouts.
to get around it, do core workouts, do some sort of aerobic activity, stay active, maybe take walks, and make sure that you are eating healthy.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
matters. Yes.
That becomes super important when you are not able to put in the work, right? And ironically, that is when we tend to slip up as well when you're traveling with
You put on weight.
because the hotels, the buffets, and everything when you are traveling is like a spread that you can just
Unlimited food you have, how much you can.
You feel like that you are missing out, right? But you are actually doing more harm than good. True. If you are not watching what you are putting in your body, because one, the workout is not there, then on top of it, the whatever extra calories and all that are doing more harm than good. And if you are able to watch the diet, if you are able to put in good nutrition, and if you are able to take care of whatever work you can put, like gym workouts or whatever, then you are in a better shape when you are trying to get back, coming back, right?
But then you know what? In practical terms, what I've seen happening is when people are traveling for work, one of the biggest challenge for them, what happens is, because they are traveling and they have been asked to travel, they try to make the most of it by doing extra work at the destination place that they are in, which means that they are not able to find enough time. They are either drinking, dining with their colleagues or whatever. So they are not able to find out the enough time and mental space required to do the workouts, which basically impacts their ability to stay healthy and fed during that time. But that's different. But yeah, the primary focus that time then works for me as a coach is stressing on them that, dude, you put in like 2 months of effort in the past, and doing a little bit of workout in the next few, doing for this 1 week, if you're not doing anything, you're losing out everything. Do you want to be doing that? And then the person says, good point. I should be getting back. I should be doing something. They get on the cycle trainer in the gym. They go to the health room and gym room and they do something. So that's one way of handling, talking about the working athletes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That's one way of handling that, the social scenario. I know people who go on family vacations. I tell them, why don't you carry a pair of shoes? Go on your run. Okay. Then after that, like what? So you have that's your social pressures that come into the picture. Then you have which includes work as well. Then you have your the break from injuries. So that time the thing again is like I said, if you are injured in some part of the body, keep working on the rest parts of the body. If other than that, what else?
So there are other things like the mental aspects of it, right? So if you are injured, of course, like when I had that shoulder fracture, the collarbone fracture, I was able to get back on the trainer and continue working, say after 3 weeks, once the stitches are removed and no chance of infection is there. Then I started taking the chance to sweat and get on the trainer, just spinning easy, and then so that kind of helped me get back into that. But there are scenarios where you are like not in it. You
are mentally demotivated.
You're mentally demotivated. So what can we do to kind of help them get back?
So honestly, there is a lot of limitations on what we can do. If we are physically close to the physical locations are closer, we can probably ask the person, hey, you know what? We guys bunch are doing some workouts. Why don't you join us in the support car or be in the track and just help out the team? Be a spectator sport. You will stay mentally engaged with the sport. If that doesn't work, that's not possible, then it's basically telling the person, hey, you know what? Why don't you cut down on your targets? Okay. Go into the base phase where you're not peaking, where you're not looking at major targets, where you're not looking at goals. You're just looking at, let's say, twice a week, thrice a week. Just get on the trainer, do some rides, zone 1, zone 2, and that should be it.
Yeah. So that really helps the realigning the expectations.
Yes.
Right. And also taking it a little deeper and saying, what is it that is stopping them from taking it up again? What are the motivation issues? And taking them back to the reason why they started in the first place.
Correct.
Also helps, right? And if forget about anything and everything, the performance and all that, they come in later. But what is that you why is it that you started, right? That is important. I for myself, I started because of health issues. If I don't work out, my asthma and all those things come back in, right? So that kind of keeps me motivated. We have to take them back as to what is it that is helping them, or why is it that they got into the sport in the first place, and is it still true? If it is still true, that kind of centers them and gets them back, right? Yeah. So I think that's. Do we need to cover anything else? That I think, this is very important to reassess, realign, and then refocus the goals, and taking it when you have a break of 2 months or more, you are basically starting afresh, I think. So that is very important to not look at the figures that you are able to hit before taking the break and say, boss, you are starting again in the basement. You got to let us set that FTP not at 250 but maybe at 200 or even 180, and then let's get back, build that base, and then get back to the rhythm and believe in the process. We have done it once, we can do it again. That is important, right? Believing the process and taking one day at a time and taking it forward. Cool. I think that just about covers what a coach or an athlete can keep in mind in terms of coming back to sport after a break. If we might not have covered everything, if something comes to mind, please comment in the comment sections in YouTube. We will take it up. And thanks, DP, for this fireside chat. And
thank you for having me here.
Thank you.